Hopefully by now you are aware that this 2024 crypto bull cycle is very akin to what we witnessed with crypto back in 2017. And right now, more and more of the moves that we are making are starting to look similar. And Bitcoin Archive just posted that Bitcoin is looking more and more like the 2017 cycle every week. Similar price action, similar relative strength index. Everything is lined up for bullish momentum to surge through the US presidential election and powered by ETF on-ramps. Are you ready? And to that, I'd like to note that I personally believe what's about to happen next, Ethereum ETFs, perhaps things along the lines of Solana or XRP ETFs, are really going to propel us forward hard. Now, there is some skepticism, and rightfully so. I mean, one of the Ethereum co-founders apparently just sent massive amounts of Ethereum to exchanges. Jeffrey Wilk recently deposited 10,000 ETH to Kraken, with over 24,000 deposits done since the beginning of 2024. In deposits, I think they mean. ETH price remains stable though, but from this, people are pretty afraid he's basically looking for the top again and cashing out a good chunk since the start of the year sent about $75 million worth of ETH to the exchange. Yeah, there's definitely some justification for this thought. At the same time though, almost every single fundamental piece when it comes to the newest news for crypto regulation has started to look, like I said, more and more like 2017 in terms of what type of rally is about to happen. But then instead of mostly just hype and excitement, it is this time also based on some more real world fundamental parts coming from the regulatory ETF, whatever side. Since Gary Gensler can't be so negative anymore, and we've done well, we've beaten the all-time high, but we really haven't gone for a crazy super cycle just quite yet. I made a video a few days ago saying it looks like we're about to pop off, and I'll make it right now again saying, man, since right now we are a good ways past the halving, it is basically time again to start our ascend towards the $80,000 plus levels. And my personal thoughts is that it will not take more than a month or two, especially as we get some ETF news today. It's probably going to be exciting again though. But besides that, a lot of people right now are talking about a Solana ETF. Take a look at this. And before you do, make sure you press that like button if you haven't done it yet. By the way, it really helps out the channel a ton and doesn't cost you anything at all.
The SEC is starting to amend these S1s. So I don't know if the Ethereum ETF gets approved today, next week or the week after. It will get approved at some point in time. But also the trade now is who's next, right?
Exactly. Who is next? Because and I was talking about yesterday. Now it's almost time for truly my ETF, my blended ETF, of which which crypto asset it is. And so who is next though?
I mean, I think you've got to think about Solana as probably the next one, right? I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana are probably the big three for this cycle. But I'll give you even a stranger, or maybe not stranger, but maybe an unintuitive way to think about it, Robinhood and Coinbase. Because now we have some clarity about what a security is and what isn't. And they'll be able to list a lot more crypto, which means a lot more trading for them. So I think they're the biggest beneficiaries from the change that's gone on.
So, BK, really glad to have you here. Big fan of your work.
So first of all, I'll say that XRP was left out here. Also, coincidentally, was the one not in the green. But I do believe that Solana and XRP have kind of similar odds. XRP is in a way better position in terms of regulatory status. Solana has had more complaints. So from that perspective, XRP ETF way quicker, way more logical. The only reason I'm saying Solana is partially because of major institutional influence in the back end of this. But more importantly, I think because there's a lot more excitement about Solana and it's more of a platformer like Ethereum. So since Ethereum was hot just now and it's a platformer, and Solana is also a platformer, it's like an easy deduction. But perhaps centrality issues might cause this one to stick around a little bit longer before it gets an ETF. But besides the point, one of his arguments also did make a lot of sense, that we've talked before about which coins are next, but perhaps it's indeed the exchanges that really are in the best position, with Coinbase, perhaps Robinhood and whatnot, now all of a sudden having a lot more possibilities. And I'm thinking as well of Uniswap and all that are now getting less poo-poo on their head because of the FIT21 bill and the fact that right now they've said, hey, we want to really start innovating and doing good. And I'll tell you one more thing. One of the most interesting comments of today was this from Tyler Winklevoss, one of the co-founders of Gemini, one of the most popular crypto exchanges. And he said, the guy in goggles completely reversed crypto's fortunes in Washington. Well done, sir. And I've shown you guys parts of this before, but I'll quickly remind everybody of what happened. So as you can see in the video, this guy right here is asking Trump about why a lot of businesses are, he's just saying a lot of businesses are moving, crypto businesses outside of the U.S. because of the U.S.'s regulations. And here's Trump's answer to that.
The U.S. because they're scared of the U.S.'s regulations.
Because of the hostility.
Correct.
Yeah, crypto is moving out of the U.S. because of hostility toward crypto.
Correct. So what are you going to do to stop it?
Well, we'll stop it because I don't want that. I don't want that. I want that. If we're going to embrace it, we have to let them be here.
Yes, sir. Morgan.
And I'll just quickly say what a true G for asking a question like that. But let's do a little step back. Isn't it quite interesting that all of a sudden the stance on crypto has changed so much in just the span of 48 hours? I know I've already made a few videos talking about how politics have played and will play pivotal roles, but I still think we are kind of underestimating just how big a role it will and has been playing, especially just now. Think about it. They literally on CNBC are now saying, oh, what's next? Before? Nah, they wouldn't be talking about that. They would be talking about the next negative thing that was going to come up. But they all know that this is where the excitement is at. This is where the money is going to be at. And I still think we're at one of the starting points. But once the Ethereum ETF comes along, again, the ETF itself ain't that big a deal. It's the fact that they're opening up to these things now that's propelling everything forward by a lot. And some might argue that this has all been calculated beforehand. This is exactly how the market was supposed to move. I'm noticing a little gecko on the window right there. I don't know about all that. All I do know is that we're headed for the freaking greatness. Things are starting to get exciting. Things are finally starting to get exciting. And I know I might have said that too many times that things are about to get exciting. I know, but Solana right now, full on maxing it because I don't think there's any negative scenario here. As long as crypto doesn't go for a full-on crash, I think Solana's in a really good spot because if everybody's expecting the ETF to flow for either Solana or XRP next, then those will probably have a really good time here. And I mean, I still am not against going for the bigger altcoins at this point, mostly because it usually is next in cycle. And if, like I said at the start of the video, we are starting to repeat more and more of the 2017 performance, then it really just would make a lot of sense to go for it now. It's interesting that we haven't really seen a move for, I guess the last 2 days or so. I guess right now the market's waiting on whatever the decision on Ethereum is going to be. Perhaps by the time I upload it, this will already have a decision. Not sure, depends on when I get this video out. Sometimes it takes an hour or two. And perhaps by that time, everything will have pumped like crazy. Or you know what? I'll be a little hypocrite and say, what if there's some news that we didn't expect and all of a sudden things fall down hard? Because obviously you'd think that things are priced in. But then I look at the ratings and the approval rating is like 65% for May. And I think the main reason people have put it that low is because perhaps it's just too quick and they couldn't fix things yet. And so they're denying it for not having sufficient this, that. But then it would be basically a matter of weeks or so before it's going to happen anyway. But I think that's why it's 65%. And it's still, I guess, a real possibility that there's some sort of issue that pops up where they didn't change a rule or didn't have something in there perfect enough for which it can be denied. But I still think it's maximum 2 months before we got them. Still, by the way, extremely bullish on AI coins, still bullish on new coins launching. Not for like this week. It seems like they're not having a field day yet, this whole week, but soon. And I think it's always nice to prepare for that move instead of reacting to the move. But that's only for some major altcoin bags, like the AI section. I think it's nice to just stack up as much as we can at these low prices. But yeah, that's about it.